About 7 years ago, I was going through the darkest time of my life. And what helped me get out of that difficult time was learning to meditate. So, in this video, what I want to do is that I want to first describe to you what was the circumstances I was going through back then, how I stumbled upon meditation, and then what happened after 7 years of consistent meditation till today. So the situation I was going through back then is that I was having so much chronic pain. I was having migraines, neck pain, lower shoulder, lower back, my knee was hurting a lot. I had acid reflux. So my physical health was struggling so much. And then the other thing is that I did not have a job back then. My mental and emotional state I was the lowest I've ever been in my life. So long story short, my life was falling apart. Now, the only thing that I was sure about back then is that my emotional state was actually creating most of these things, because I knew that how I felt inside was affecting and creating the life that I was living. But I did not know how to change my mental and emotional state. I did not know how to change how I was feeling. So what I did is I started researching, and step by step I started to find a little bit of answers, and until I stumbled upon meditation. This is when I started reading about it, and then I started doing the most basic kind of meditation. And then I said to myself one day, you know what, I'm going to commit to meditate every single day for the next year, no matter what. And the only reason that was going to stop me from meditating on any given day is if I was dead. That level of commitment, that decision that I made back then, it literally changed my life, because since that day until today, I haven't missed a day of meditation. No matter what happens in my life, no matter what the circumstances are, I meditate every single day. Now, let me tell you what happened when I started meditating. So in the first 30 days, no exaggeration, more than 80% of the chronic pain, all the pain that I was feeling in my body, they disappeared. No medication whatsoever. Within a couple of weeks, I found a job. I started to feel better than I've ever felt in my entire life. And this new state that I found myself in, it encouraged me to keep meditating, because I knew that what I was doing on the inside was actually changing not only the circumstances of my life, but how I was feeling about myself and how I was creating and showing up. So what I know shifted in the first few weeks and then months and then until now, years after I started my meditation practice, is that the frequency that I was living in on a daily basis changed. Because back then when I started meditating, I was such an angry person. I had so much anger stuffed inside. I was sad. I was not happy with where I was in my life. And I was continuously feeling those emotions until I conditioned my body to live in the state of anger, of sadness, of frustration. And this is what stopped my immune system, my body, from healing itself. But when I started letting go, when I started freeing myself from these anchors of anger, of frustration, this is when my body started to go back to a state of homeostasis, of calm, to a state in which it was capable of healing itself. My body did not need the medications to heal itself. It was perfectly capable of doing that. It's just I was not letting it do the job that I was designed to do, because I was constantly trying to hold it back by living in the emotions of the past. Now, the other thing that meditation made a big difference for me is that it actually brought me back to myself. I believe that meditation is not just a tool to create something in our lives. It's the path through which we find our way back to ourselves. I believed in my limitations more than I believed in my power to create. But when I started meditating, I came back to myself. I started to feel how powerful, how impactful I am, because I showed up and I connected every day to the energy that creates this universe, the energy that enables us to do anything and everything we want to create in this life. Meditation made me realize that what I see here, this body, this is the tiniest part of who I truly am. The biggest part, the consciousness, the spirit, the soul, the eternal part that connects all of us on this planet and beyond. This is the bigger part that I cannot perceive with my senses, but I can only connect to it. I can only feel it when I am going beyond the senses. That is in a meditation state. The other thing that I also learned from meditation is that circumstances do not create emotion in our lives. We create how we feel, and then circumstances reflect those feelings back to us. In other words, you don't need something outside of you to make you feel bad, to make you feel happy, to make you feel content, to make you feel successful. You feel these, you generate all of these feelings, and then you look outside, and then these feelings start to translate into circumstances, into coincidences, into situations, into creations that show up in your life. So creation happens inside out, not outside in, just like I used to believe in the past. That's why right now I know that no circumstance, no external circumstance is bigger than my ability to create and to change it. This does not mean that I would feel bad when something I don't like shows up in my life. It only means that this is feedback. This means that I am not on the right frequency. So I immediately take action. I immediately sit down and put myself in the right state and make decision and remember how powerful I am. And also remember to go back to all the times I felt bad about myself and how I was capable of pulling myself out of this. So my advice to you is that if you are going through a difficult chapter in your life, try meditating every single day. Try it for 30 days and see what happens. I know that you're not going to regret it.